excellence, and competence in key public service positions. President Tinubu congratulated Ogujimi on his appointment and urged him to discharge his duties in the service with integrity, professionalism, and dedication to Nigeria's service. To the National Assembly, a bill seeking the amendment of the Federal Polytechnic Act on Tuesday passed the second reading stage in the House of Representatives. The bill, co-sponsored by the Speaker Tajuddin Abbas and Lagos lawmaker Fuad Laguda, seeks to further amend the Federal Polytechnic Act, Cap 17, laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, to make provisions for additional functions of polytechnics in Nigeria. Leading the debate on the general principles of the bill on Tuesday during plenary, Honorable Lakuda said the amendment of the Principal Act had become necessary given the expanding scope and role of polytechnic education in the country. He stated that to drive efficiency and advancement of polytechnic education in Nigeria, the Act was amended in 2019 to increase the retirement age of staff of polytechnics and harmonize the tenure of office of directors and other principal officers of polytechnics in Nigeria. In the meantime, the House of Representatives has called on the federal government to strengthen waste management strategies to curb the rising threat of environmental pollution and its associated health risks across the country. This followed the adoption of a motion sponsored by the lawmaker representing Brutu Federal Constituency, Datose Julius Pondi, during today's plenary. Honorable Pondi lamented the growing challenges Nigerians face in handling waste disposal, particularly in the oil and gas sector and the manufacturing industries. He noted that ineffective waste management had continued to endanger lives, particularly in communities where industrial activities take place. Despite the existence of environmental protection laws, the lawmaker pointed out loopholes in enforcement, warning that the continued neglect of waste management could lead to severe health challenges, agricultural decline, and environmental degradation.
Observe that the major component of environmental pollution are hazardous waste discharges in manufacturing industries, unending gas flaring, crude oil, refined oil, crude oil and refined spills, oil spills, as often happen in Niger Delta region, in addition to domestic waste disposal. The House also notes that in spite of numerous laws and regulations on waste management across the country, there are still numerous gaps and lapses in the control and management of industrial and domestic waste across the Federal Ministry of Environment, the National Environmental Standards and Regulation Enforcement Agency, NESRA, the National Oil Spill Detection, Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulation Commission, NUPRC, and the National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency, NOSRA, to reinforce the enforcement of all environmental-related laws and regulations and strengthen the effectiveness of the National Environmental Standard and Regulations Agency, NESRA. The National Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency, NESRA, and the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPRC. 2. Implore state and local governments to closely collaborate with the federal government to ensure that oil companies and manufacturing industries, as well as small and medium-scale businesses, adopt cleaner and safer waste disposal methods to contain the outbreaks of infections and spread of communicable diseases. And finally, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, mandate the Committee on Environment to conduct a wholesome survey on the extent of environmental pollution across and around major industries and their level of compliance with laws and regulations on pollution and report within 4 weeks for further related action.
The security matters. The House of Representatives has called on the federal government to urgently strengthen security in Zamfara State, particularly in communities grappling with persistent attacks by armed bandits. The resolution followed a motion sponsored by Hassan Shinkafi, the lawmaker representing Shinkafi Ezrumi Federal Constituency, During today's plenary session, Honorable Shinkafi, a member of the People's Democratic Party, decried the deteriorating security situation in Shinkafi and Zurumi local government areas where escalating attacks have led to widespread killings, maiming, and kidnappings. He noted that despite efforts by the state government, insecurity persists, leaving over 40 villages deserted as residents flee for safety. Following overwhelming support for the motion, the House urged the federal government to direct the military to establish permanent, well-equipped security bases in Magaria, Kuruya, Kware, Dutse, Asheme, Kurubimbore, Boko, and Dole communities within Shinkafi and Zurumi local government.
The House notes that Section 14(2)(b) of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, states that the welfare and security of the citizens shall be the primary purpose of any government. Also note the persistent and escalating security challenges in Shinkafi and Zurumi local government areas of Zamfara State have led to increase in attacks, killings, maimings, kidnappings, posing grievous threat to lives, properties, and development of the areas. Aware that the Governor, His Excellency of Zamfara State, has taken serious or pragmatic steps in safeguarding the state, including establishing security trust fund, community protection guards, intelligence sharing, and provision of logistics support to security agencies, regular security council meetings, and blocking logistics supply to bandits. Also aware that the military personnel has made remarkable efforts in curbing the devastating situation. Disturbed that the pathetic situation has inflicted untold hardship on the people living in Shinkafi and Zurumi local government areas, preventing their access to farmland, markets, and schools for general population. Do resolve: 1. Urge the federal government to direct the military to, as a matter of necessity and urgency, construct and station a befitting and well-equipped permanent military outpost in Magaria, Kuriya, Kware, Duzi, Mashema, Guribimbore, Boko, and Dole, all in Shinkafi and Zurumi local government areas, respectively, to further enhance security of the areas and reinforce the military personnel to effectively checkmate and confront the nefarious activities of the bandits.
And away from the assembly, the Police Service Commissioner has approved the appointment of 6 Deputy Inspectors General of Police. The newly appointed DIGs are Sadiq Abubakar, Commandant, Police Academy, Woody Okano, Benjamin Okolo, AIJ, Department of Information Communication Technology, Force Headquarters, Abuja, and Williams Adebowale, Commandant, Police Staff College, Jos. Zegu Bali, AIG FCID, Annex Enugu, Idegu Basil Okwama, AIG Zone 14, Kasina and Adebola Inde Hamzat, AIG Zone 16, Yanagwa. A statement released on Tuesday by the PSC spokesperson Ikechukwu Kwani announced that the Commission also approved the promotion of the Commissioner of Police Enugu State Command, Kanaya Uzwebu, to the rank of Assistant Inspector General of Police. Kwani added that the Commission also approved the appointment of new Commissioners of Police for Oyo and Enugu State Commands. Kwani also disclosed that the Commission approved the promotion of 8 Chief Superintendents of Police to Assistant Commissioners of Police. In Edo State, gunmen have kidnapped a Catholic priest, Reverend Father Philip Ekeli, and a seminarian, Peter Andrew, from St. Peter Catholic Church in Ivukwa Community, Esako East Local Government area of the state. Police sources confirmed the incident on Tuesday to security expert Zagazola Makama, saying the attack happened on Sunday night around 11:30 p.m. The source said the police got a distress call from the chairman of the Police Community Relations Committee Mr. Inede Gabriel, that the church was under attack. Officers, including the Rapid Response Squad RRS, rushed to the scene and confirmed that a priest and seminarian had been taken into the bush to an unknown location. During the attack, local vigilantes clashed with gunmen, killing one of the attackers. His body has since been deposited at a general hospital mortuary in Agenebode. A joint search and rescue team made up of soldiers from the Nigerian Army's 195 Battalion, police officers, vigilantes, and local hunters is currently searching for the victims and the kidnappers. To the court, the Lagos State Special Offences Court sitting in Ikeja has ordered the remand of Jude Okoye, the elder brother and former manager of Paul and Peter Okoye of the defunct music group P Square, for an alleged theft of $1 million and £34,537. Justice Rahman Oshodi remanded him at the Ikoyi Correctional Center, where he is being held pending the hearing of his bail application. The judge adjourned the case until March 6 for a hearing of the bail application. The FCC had arraigned the defendant alongside his company, Northside Music Limited, on a 4-count charge. The defendant entered a not guilty plea. Okoye is also facing allegations of money laundering involving 1.38 billion naira, $1 million and £34,537 before the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos. On Monday, the court granted him bail in the sum of 100 million with 2 sureties and like sum before adjourning till April 14 for the commencement of trial. And here in Osun State, Governor Ademola Adeleke has tasked the 6 members of the panel set up to look into crisis which broke out over the stool of Olojudo of Ido-Ajegunle, Enobokun local government area of the state, to be diligent, maintain a high sense of integrity and unwavering commitment to seek the truth, nothing but the truth. Governor Adeleke urged the panel to listen to all voices and analyze all evidence in order to arrive at truth and the cause of the crisis. It will be recalled that Governor Adeleke visited Ido-Ajegunle town in Obokun local government, where he promised to set up a panel of inquiry which would look into the crisis which occurred after the State Executive Council approved the appointment of Prince Oluwatimileyin Oluyemi Ajayi as Olojudo of Ido-Ajegunle in Obokun local government. The governor was represented at the inauguration by the Commissioner for Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Barrister Dosu Babatunde, at the conference hall of the ministry. According to the governor, the committee is to submit his recommendation to government within 2 weeks from his inauguration. Governor Adeleke assured the panel of inquiry that the recommendation would be welcome by the government and he believes it will lead to a permanent solution to the crisis. In his response, a special advisor to the governor on legislative matters, who also doubles as the chairman of the panel, Honorable Rocco Yewole, promised on behalf of other members to discharge their duties accordingly. Other members of the panel are Special Advisor to the Governor of Security Matters, Barrister Samuel Ojo, the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Regional Integration, Mr. M. Oyedeji, and Mrs. Ajibola O. Alade, representing the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Justice, Director, Staff Welfare Public Service Office, Mr. J. Amuson, Deputy Director, Chieftaincy Affairs, Ministry of Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs, Mrs. Adiola J.B., who will serve as the Secretary of the panel. On a rather sad note, 2 persons have died in a tanker fire that occurred in a filling station at the Orita Challenge area of Ibadan, Oluyole local government area of Oyo State. The Oyo State Fire Service Agency confirmed this in a statement on Tuesday. According to the agency's general manager, Yemi Akinyinka, a petrol tanker driver and his motorboy lost their lives in the incident. He said preliminary investigation indicated that the tanker driver lost control as a result of a brake failure, which resulted in the tanker spilling its content, thereby catching fire in the process. Akinyinka added that the timely intervention of men of the State Fire Service and other private fire services helped put out the fire before it escalated into full-blown disaster in the residential area. In Ogun State, no fewer than 16 people were burnt beyond recognition, while 3 others sustained varying degrees of injuries in a fatal crash that occurred around 1 p.m. this afternoon near Buhari Estate along the Abeokuta-Shagamu Expressway. The Ogun State Sector Commander of the Federal Road Safety Corps confirmed the incident in a statement released by spokesperson Lawrence Ope. According to Ope, the lone crash involved a white Mazda bus carrying a filled gas cylinder, noting that the explosion triggered by a fire outbreak led to the devastating loss of lives. She said 21 people were involved in the crash, 16 victims were burnt beyond recognition, making it impossible to ascertain their genders at the scene, while 3 others sustained injuries and were rushed to the medical center in Idiaba, Abeokuta. The sector commander, Kinwumi Fashakin, who led the rescue operation, criticized the decision to transport a filled gas cylinder in a passenger vehicle, stressing that highly flammable substances should only be conveyed in designated vehicles operated by trained professionals. You're watching News at 7 on Western Spring Television, and still to come. TCN says power generation climbed to 5,713.60 megawatts on Tuesday. We will bring you more of these when we return. Stay with us. General of the Federation and the House of Reps calls on federal government to urgently strengthen security in Zamfara State. Here in Ocean State, Governor Adeleke set up a panel to look into crisis over Olojudo of Idoa Ajegunle stool. And on the foreign scene, Ukraine says it can hold out on front line after Trump suspends military aid to Kiev. The Nigeria Customs Service has intercepted 245,370 liters of premium motor spirit, commonly known as petrol, valued at 238.1 million naira. The Controller General of Customs, Bashir Adini, said the seizures were made in less than 3 months as part of his ongoing anti-smuggling operation tagged Operation Wild Wind. CJ Adeniyi also highlighted the recent seizures made by the operation at the Federal Operations Unit in Ikeja. He attributed the smuggling of petrol to significant price disparities across Nigeria's borders, which encouraged smugglers to divert fuel to neighboring countries for higher profits. The customs boss described the fierce smuggling trade as a systematic attempt to undermine the country's economic foundations. He added that the criminal networks involved in the illicit trade are constantly refining their smuggling techniques to evade law enforcement. And elsewhere, new statistics by the Transmission Company of Nigeria revealed that power generation climbed to 5,713.60 megawatts on Tuesday. The latest data by TCN pushes the country's 2025 generation fee to the highest since 4 years ago. According to the TCN, the whole of the 5,713 megawatts recorded on Tuesday was successfully transmitted. The country recorded a 5.543 megawatt generation on February 14. It clarified that though his new peak is 88 megawatts lower than the all-time maximum peak generation of 5,801.60 megawatts recorded on March 1, 2021, it remains a notable achievement. It added that the maximum daily energy also rose to 125,542.06 megawatt hours, up from 135,159.48 megawatts per hour achieved last month.